Hi folks, Ken Ivy, the Web Czar here, and first let me apologize for being in my casual or leisurely attire. Normally I'd have a better backdrop than this, but I'm babysitting my pug who's not feeling too well today, so we got to work out of the lower office today. So anyway, I want to talk to you about mobile design and the impending Google date for another algorithm change relative to mobile design. And so a lot of people have seen articles like this one, Google sending mass scale warnings to non-mobile friendly sites. And basically they look something like this, and probably most of you don't have Google Webmaster Tools because you're not that intricately involved with your website. But basically what it says is we've got mobile usability issues found on this particular site. It talks about how many pages were indexed, and it says these pages will not be seen as mobile friendly by Google search and will therefore be displayed and ranked appropriately for smartphone users. And that probably also is going to translate to people like iPad users and stuff like that too. Anything with a smaller device screen. So Google is doing this because they know that most search nowadays, or at least I think it might be August of this year that it's scheduled to surpass desktop search. But more people are using their iPhones, their Androids, their tablets to do their web browsing and searching now than are on the desktops. So it's important for your site, if you want to be found in smartphone searches, to be able to be read easily. And so a lot of times, you've probably seen them yourselves when you're trying to look up a website on your phone and you have to, scroll all over the place trying to find just the piece that you're looking for, and it's really hard to navigate that way and strain your eyes and stuff like that. So Google wants to kind of help you or prod you to get away from that and get into more of a responsive design. Now, we've had mobile websites for years now, and basically that's a different animal. That's two different websites that are maintained by you to display on different devices. And back in the early days with first generation smartphones, um, old cell phones, there really wasn't a whole lot of adaptability. It was either, if your browser was a mobile phone browser, it would show you this site. Otherwise, the software would automatically redirect you to the regular desktop site. Um, that's probably going to go away due to enhancements in CSS and responsive design. So now what they're wanting you to do is to build a website that looks good no matter which device you're on, and you do that through the programming. And the easiest way to see is if you plug in your website into a desktop browser and you change the size of the screen to emulate a small screen, like this for a smartphone. And if it still looks good, then you probably have a responsive site. And I'll show you one of those in a minute. Um, but Google has actually come up with a little tool here that you'll see the link down in the article below to test your site. So all you have to do is go to this site right here and then plug in your domain name and then click Analyze, and it'll automatically do that. So I'm going to pull up a website here. I'm going to copy that URL, and I'm going to plug it right in here and paste it, and then just click Analyze. And it's going to take a few minutes probably because it's looking at more than just text and things like that. It's looking at links and relationships between certain elements of your website to see if it really gives a good mobile experience. And if it does, it'll tell you. And if it doesn't, it'll tell you. And the thing I like about this is if it doesn't, it gives you a few resources. So like this site didn't turn out to be mobile friendly. And it even gives you a picture of what the website looks like on a mobile phone. And this tells you basically what it saw as the problems. It also gives you some guidance on, what you might do to change that. So you can follow some of those links there if you're having those kind of problems. Now, if it says it's mobile friendly, you'll get a green banner that says, congratulations, it's mobile friendly. But this site here, you can tell if I change the size of the browser window, when I do that, when I move it over to like the size of a smartphone, nothing really is changing on the site, which means I'm going to have to scroll around in order to get to the part that I want. Conversely, this website here, when I change the size of the window to closely emulate a phone, you can see the banners changing in size, the text changing in size, the navigation's folding down. All these things are changing, but still very viewable on this site. Okay, so that's a quick way. It doesn't test all of the elements, but it's a quick way to say, okay, this looks okay in a mobile device. I would still recommend going to Google's test site and going ahead and running that test, because like I say, it's measuring more than just how things look. So, what happens if your site is not mobile friendly? Well, you probably, depending on what kind of website architecture you have, you may have a plugin or a different theme or something like that that you can plug into your existing site and make it look better in mobile and make it pass this test. And if you can do that, that's probably going to be minimal time, minimal expense. For most people, probably though, you're going to have a redesign. And especially if your site's more than probably 3 to 5 years old, it's probably going to be a good idea to refresh that look anyway. So that process really doesn't have to be painful. If you need some help with that, you can hit my contact page and I'll get a hold of you and we'll take a look at it and see what we can do. But the important thing is, take a look at that April 21st deadline. That's when the algorithm goes into effect. They're really not penalizing people now, but they will start. And it may be April 21st, or they may do it like they've done other ones and roll it out slowly in different regions. So I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do it. Google typically doesn't release that kind of information. They just say, hey, April 21st, the date that you want to look for. And so they're giving us a little time. Now, if your site isn't mobile, are you going to go out of business or something like that? Probably not. But if you depend on a lot of web traffic for your business, this is probably something you need to think about. If your site has ordering buttons and stuff like that, and you get a lot of business, and you know through your analytics that it's bringing a lot of business, then you probably want to take a look at that. If you've got a brochure site that you've had since 1958 or whatever, and you don't depend on that, I mean, I got some clients like that. Who just it's more of an information tool. It's not going to be absolutely positively critical, but here's the thing. Even if your site is a brochure site, if people use it to, say, find your phone number or something like that, or find your address, if your site isn't in the search results, which Google is saying that if your site's not mobile friendly, they may move you down and penalize you. And basically, that's if your competitor's site is mobile friendly, that means they're going to move up and you're going to move down, which means that people may never see your site in order to get that address or phone number. So it's probably important to make that change if you haven't already done so. And I would recommend a responsive design as opposed to one of those old mobile-only sites and using software to decide which site to show. It just that's a whole lot of extra programming. It's 2 sites to maintain. It's more work, frankly, than it's worth these days, since we have the advent of responsive design. So that's all I've got for now. I hope this is helpful. Like I say, if you have any questions or comments, give me a buzz or something like that. You can leave your comments below in the post, or if you're watching the video, you can leave your comments on the video, and I will certainly get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great day. Bye-bye.